guys, it's Eric G from Around the House, and I am thrilled to announce that our massive back catalog, nearly 1,900 episodes packed with home improvement tips, DIY hacks, and expert advice, is now available for free. Dive into years of inspiration to tackle on your next project. And just a heads up, some podcast players limit how far back you can go. So if you can't find it all, just head straight over to our website, aroundthehouseonline.com, and listen to every episode there. Don't miss out. Start binging today. And thanks for tuning in to Around the House.
Everybody stop what you're doing, please!
When it comes to remodeling and renovating your home, there is no better show on your radio. This is Around the House with Eric G.
Where's the hammer?
From your back fence to the sidewalk, Eric will tell you how to keep it all in tip-top shape while helping you save a buck while doing it. If you like DIY projects, it takes a lot of practice to get good at it, and Eric is here to guide the way.
Is it on the... Go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering.
All that and more on the fastest 2 hours of home improvement radio.
These are the wrong plans. These are the old plans. Oh.
Welcome to
Stop it!
Around the House with Eric G.
Welcome to Around the House with Eric G. This is the midweek special. This is where we talk about the stuff that didn't make it into, last week's show. And with the schedule, we know darn well it's not going to make it into next week's show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric G. It is the 2nd of December already. What is happening? I can't believe how fast this holiday season is already starting to blast through right now. I've got a lot on my plate. I'm sure everybody else does too. It's a very hectic time of year with people trying to stay on top of their game out there. And just remember, like I did, we didn't have a Thursday Pro Insider last week because I decided to take my own advice and take the day off on Thanksgiving. I didn't get up and record a show and said, I've been preaching it. I better do it. Well, today I want to talk a little bit about using smart home tech over the holidays. Here's the thing. Smart home tech can overwhelm people pretty easily, and I fully understand it. But there's also things you can do that make life so much easier with it. Example. Christmas lights. I've got Christmas lights up around the house. I've got it decorated that way, and it used to be you had to have your timer and you'd set the timer up, and it was a hassle. Now it's easy. I got one of those GE plug-in timers that is Bluetooth enabled, and off my smart home system I can jump on there. As the days get darker, I can go ahead and change the on and off times as needed. I can turn it on and adjust it to the day. So when you get up and leave to go to work in the morning, you got your Christmas lights still on. Or if you don't, you can have it turn on for a set amount of time and turn off. So there's a lot of cool things with smart home tech over the holidays. But that really is kind of the most basic one, to be honest. I mean, it is really the most basic, because what happens is when you get into other things over the holidays, it makes a difference. Great example. So I had some parts coming in for the bathroom, and coming in FedEx, and it was a Sunday delivery, which was a little odd. I was working around the house. I was out front doing some stuff. My phone beeps and says, "Your FedEx delivery just happened." And I'm like, no, it didn't. Guarantee it didn't. Because I've been standing out here for 20 minutes and no truck is on the horizon. Wonder where it went. So of course I call FedEx and go through the customer service, on a Sunday, which isn't easy over the holidays. I get that. And it took them a couple days to look, but I went back on my camera system and looked back and went, yeah. Not only did I not see the FedEx truck, I didn't have one go up and down the street. So good news is yesterday it showed up. They found it. They picked it up from whatever location it had been delivered to and got it here. So that's good. But something, I had the footage on my camera system if somebody was going to ask a bunch of questions of where these parts, They weren't at my house. And so that's where some of this stuff can be really cool over the holidays. Just like if I wanted to set up my garage door opener. You know, there are things that I can do here where I can, with my Chamberlain garage door opener, I can enable and allow through Amazon. I can set up permissions, basically. I'm not going to get through the whole process, but I can set up permissions to sit there and let Amazon open the door up to my garage and set packages inside. So that way, Amazon porch pirates have zero chance of getting it. They're going to have to break into the house to get it. At that point, they're just going to follow the truck down the street. So these are things that you can do around your house to make it, you know, using your smart home tech over the holidays is pretty smart. Now, I do have a new system that's not out yet, so I'm not going to talk about it, from a company that just showed up here yesterday, actually day before yesterday, Monday. Showed up that I'm going to install over the next few days here and give a review for it. I'm looking forward to seeing this. Looks like a really good system, and I like high-quality cameras, and to be honest, you know, my Ring system is a 2-3 years old, and quality-wise, you know, picture quality-wise, yeah, it looks like it's 2 or 3 years old. And the video is not what I want it to be. And it's only a couple years old. So now I'm kind of looking at other systems out there to see what is outperforming that. And, of course, I do need to get some newer stuff, but the Ring has not changed that much over the last couple years to give that better quality. So I'm curious to see how this is going to do between those two brands, and we'll see what happens. And that's going to be one of the next things. But smart home-wise, there's a ton of stuff going, especially over the holidays here. It's just like Lutron set up with Ring, and this is one of the advantages between those two people. With Lutron, you can program it so when the Ring fires off, it says, hey, we have motion in front of your camera on your, you know, maybe you've got one of the spotlights cameras, or you've got the Ring doorbell, or one of the standalone cameras. You can program it so when that goes off and it sees motion, that it automatically turns lights on in your house. Maybe it's your porch light that's off. Maybe it's your front room light or a hallway light or something like that that you want to let people know, hey, we see you. So these are all great, great things. And when we come back here, I got one quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about using the next level of smart home tech over the holidays to make sure that we've got you safe, secure, and making life a little bit easier. Let's do this just after our new podcast sponsor, Natural Soft. I want to introduce you to our new sponsor on Around the House with Eric G. I absolutely despise having to carry water softener salt and load it up. Well, if you're like me, then I have a solution for you. Check out Natural Soft. Natural Soft solves those hard water issues using a catalytic process. And when you combine it with one of their filtration systems, you now have a complete water treatment system for you and your family. For clean, soft water you can depend on from Natural Soft, head to solosalescompany.com. Check the podcast show notes for details and make sure and tell them Eric G sent you. Special thanks to Solo Sales Company for helping us and keeping this show on the road. Well, now here's the thing. We've been talking about smart home tech over the holidays. So some of these things can, one, save you energy, and two, just make it more comfortable. Now, what I've been doing is I went through, and we've talked about this before, but it's as we get darker outside here, especially up north, it just keeps getting darker and darker like it always does every year. But the thing is lighting controls is huge. I am no longer ever pulling up in front of my house going, you know, we were out too long, and I wish I would have turned the lights on. I wish I would have turned the lights on for the pets inside. You know, for our dogs, I don't have to worry about the outdoor lights coming on because they come on automatically. And not just sensors, they come on at the time that I want them to. So I can turn them on right before it's starting to get dusk. Everything turns on. Lights turn on the inside when we're gone. We can have all those settings where when we walk out the door, I can hit goodbye on my smart home hub, locks the doors, turns the lights on when we want it. And you know something? The house is safe and secure. You can program it all the way out. And it's a great way to do it, especially since crime rates are not going down in many places in the country. This is a good thing to do. And if you can give that movement inside your house with lights turning off and on, if you're gone for an extended period of time, it looks like you've got people over there. And you know something? Unfortunately, that does keep the burglars going down the street, but at least they're not hitting your house because they don't want to have that confrontation face-to-face with somebody. They'd much rather get in and get out and reduce their risk. So stay tuned here as we go through more smart home stuff here over the holidays and into next year. We're coming up into kind of the new releases, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff for seminars for the National Association of Home Builders in early February, so I'll have the latest and greatest stuff. So stay tuned to Around the House with Eric G for the latest in smart home technology and wares out there because we're going to cover it all. Well, coming up this weekend on Around the House with Eric G, we've got a fun show ahead. We're going to be talking renting versus landlord. You know, being that renter, being that landlord, kind of trying to show both sides of that perspective and good tips for renters and good tips for landlords. And maybe by listening to both sides, you can hear both sides of that story and understand that, because there's always that dichotomy of the renter hating the evil landlord and vice versa. And so we're going to see if we can, maybe put those swords down and let people understand a little bit more both sides of that coin. And then in hour number 2, we're going to talk about my top 10 home improvement products and services that I think shouldn't even be on the market. They should be not out there for sale. They should be discontinued, or at least some severe labels on them so they don't get misused, because these things can do a lot of damage to your house or yourself. All that and more coming up on Saturday on Around the House with Eric G. I got to hit the road. I've got an interview to go knock out. Thanks for listening, everybody. And I really appreciate you tuning into Around the House. More this weekend and more on tomorrow's Pro Insider. Thanks for listening to Around the House.
Around the House with Eric G is produced by, designed by Eric G, in association with Salem Media, and distributed nationally by the Sun Broadcast Group. All rights reserved. Copyright 2020, designed by Eric G. We will be back next week. If you missed part of the show, check out the podcast of all of our shows at AroundTheHouseOnline.com. Remember, measure with a micrometer, mark with caulk, and cut with an axe. Thanks for listening to Around the House.
Hey folks, Jim here, producer of Around the House Show. You're loving the audio tips right now, but here's something new. Our full-length episodes and expert interviews are now on YouTube as video, so you can watch the demos, tool close-ups, and guest interviews, or just hit play and listen like a regular podcast. Just search Around the House Show on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button, and turn on notifications. It's free. And you'll get the best of both worlds, visual how-tos when you want them, audio when you're on the go. Don't forget to subscribe on your podcast app too. Thanks. And now back to the show.